Welcome to Wonder Recaps. In today's video, I will go through an action mystery from 2015, known as Black Hat. Turn on subtitles. Spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and enjoy. Chai-Wan, Hong Kong is domestic to a nuclear electricity plant. Everything is going fine until the unthinkable takes place. A hacker receives beyond all of the levels of protection and reasons a coolant pump to overheat and explode. The people bravely stay at the scene to prevent a full meltdown from going on. Reduced to the inside of a prison. A man in a cell is pulled out so that guards can search it. They discover a cell phone and accuse him of transferring $900 into the bills of people in his cell block. It seems that at the identical time the assault in China passed off, there had been attacks made in the United States at the identical type of reactors. Those, although, were unsuccessful. It seems that there was no motivation for those assaults. No political announcement turned into made, there was no demand for cash, and no similarly threats made. The Chinese specialists say that their American opposite numbers in the FBI were able to capture the coding used to hack the gadget, and ask them to see it so that they can prevent it from going on once more. The Americans are hesitant to percentage the code with the Chinese language specialists, announcing that they commonly are on contrary sides of the cyber struggle. Ultimately they do determine to proportion the code, saying it'd be pleasant to work together for as soon as. But they're very cautious approximately what gets shared, concerned about what the Chinese might also examine. Captain Chen Dai, a member of the cyber struggle unit within the Chinese Language Humans' Liberation Army, is assigned to locate the hacker. He recruits his sister, a community engineer named Lean, to assist him. Soon after the nuclear reactors are attacked, the Mercantile exchange in Chicago is hacked, which causes soy futures to go up. The FBI and Chinese language specialists are able to determine that each of the hacks were performed the use of a faraway get entry to device, or a RAT. Chen meets with the FBI approximately the assaults in L.A. They agree with that the coding used inside the two occasions became written through two distinctive people. The types of code are too extraordinary. Chen later meets in private with FBI Special Agent Carol Barrett. He famous to her that because the FBI positioned it, fashionable, coding used within the RAT changed into written by way of him. He worked on it together with his university roommate, a person named Nicholas Hathaway, who in order that occurs to be the man in jail that we noticed in advance. The two men wrote it at the same time as they had been analyzing at MIT. Chen says that if the FBI wants to have the ability to seize the hacker responsible, then they want to temporarily launch Hathaway, who's in prison for hacking banks, and get his assist. The FBI doesn't want to try this, however, understanding he's their exceptional choice, agrees to at least meet with him. Hathaway is aware of that he may be essential to the research and most effective, concurs to assist if his sentence is shortened. The FBI concurs, so long as Hathaway has restricted laptop and net get admission to while he's out of prison, that he wears an ankle monitor, and that he be constantly followed by using a U.S. Marshal named Mark Jessup. Hathaway and Chen straight away get on Barrett's terrible aspect by permitting Hathaway to observe a computer without her approval. Despite them analyzing the code that they wrote, they decide that whoever used it on the nuclear reactor assault tweaked and repurposed it. Barrett threatens to give up the modern-day association, sending Hathaway lower back to prison and Chen home to China, but Chen's sister interrupts and de-escalates the argument. The group comes up with a possible lead, involving a former worker on the change trade, and Hathaway speculates that he has simply been practicing. The actual process is yet to come back. Hathaway says that they're better off getting in themselves, as civilians, to have a look at their suspect because he's maximum in all likelihood tracking local police chatter. If the FBI had been to have the nearby authorities circulate in to select him up, he might listen it with sufficient time to run. The others agree and fly lower back to L.A. Hathaway and Lean get into the suspect's resort room and locate that he's useless from what seems to be a drug overdose. Even though the investigators suspect homicide, they undergo his assets, together with his computer systems. Hathaway arranges a meeting with the hacker's associate, and then manages to govern the GPS tracker in his ankle monitor so that he has a bit extra freedom. While they look ahead to the thriller associate to arrive, Hathaway tells Lean about his life earlier than prison. Their plan is a bust, though, as the associate never shows up. They do notice a digicam looking them, and Hathaway follows the camera to a PC, and messages with the hacker, telling him that he's at the hacker's trail. The two are attacked as they attempt to leave the restaurant, and Hathaway fends the men off. They suspect that the entire meeting become a setup arranged by using the hackers to see what all the investigators understand. Once they may be out of risk and by myself, Hathaway and Lean sleep collectively. In addition, they proportion with every other touchy moments from their pasts. At the same time as Hathaway and Lean were in law, Captain Chen and Agent Barrett have been looking into the human beings that benefited maximum from the soy futures growing. There had been 3 people that offered large amounts of the stocks at the maximum opportune time, making every of them a ton of cash. All 3 can be traced to locations in Hong Kong. The crew flies to China. Whilst there, they companion with a police inspector named Alex Trang. They control to song the stock alternate money to a paramilitary operative referred to as Elias Kasser. On the website online of the damaged nuclear reactor, the personnel are still working to save you a meltdown. The building continues to be too warm to go into, and the computers that might have stored the statistics, approximately the attack, are unable to be reached. The crew opinions the GPS and the phones of the human beings that benefited from the soy futures and discover that each 3 went to the equal spot in the metropolis. Hathaway suggests that they met with a middleman there. The crew is going to this area and discovers that it's far under surveillance via some other department of the Chinese police. They examine that Kasser goes to this location each morning to satisfy with a person, however that no person ever indicates up. He simply messes together with his phone. Hathaway unearths a short variety Bluetooth transmitter close by, which is how Kasser is speaking to the others inside the institution. He sends a message to the transmitter, and later the others stroll by way of and are able to choose it up. Finally, the hackers start to pass the money they made off the soy stocks. Whilst he opens the door to tell Hathaway this news, Chen finds his sister in bed with Hathaway and is obviously emotional approximately this improvement. The team of marketers, together with a Chinese Special Responsibilities Unit group, raid Kasser's hideout. This effects in a shootout in a drainage tunnel, and the deaths of Trang and numerous of his men. In the chaos, Kasser and his group are able to break out. In the end, the nuclear energy plant has stabilized, sufficient for the records forced to be recovered and the records on it to be tested. Lamentably, it has been corrupted through radiation and they are not able to glean any useful records from it. The Countrywide Protection Agency has a software known as Black Widow that has the capability to restore the data on the broken records drive. However, they declined to allow the Chinese language to get entry to it. Understanding it's the handiest manner to get the statistics, Barrett lets in Hathaway to hack into the NSA to apply Black Widow. With the aid of doing this, they're able to discover that the server the hackers use is based totally in Jakarta, and Lean discovers that the hacker has been shopping for satellite snapshots of a domain near Seri Manjung, Malaysia. Unluckily for the group tracking the hackers, Hathaway's hack into Black Widow wasn't as relaxed as he thought, and he's stuck. For his unlawful movements, the NSA and FBI demand that the deal be off and Hathaway need to be returned to jail. Despite the fact that they see Hathaway as an asset, Chen's superiors assume it would be in the first-rate interest of Chinese language American cooperation if he was dispatched returned to jail. Chen ignores this order and tells Hathaway those plans. Hathaway and Lean's dating has moved beyond just the physical, and has entered romantic territory. The two argue about in which her region is. Have to she live with the investigative team, or flee with Hathaway? Chen tells her that the answer is neither. She have to simply move home. Whilst Lean and Hathaway argue, certainly one of Kasser's guys places a tracking device on Chen's vehicle. With this, they're capable of follow him, and they shoot a rocket launcher at him. He is killed within the blast. The hackers approach the car and open fireplace at the investigators. Barrett and Jessup are able to take down several of the hackers' crew, but it isn't lengthy until they're also killed in the gunfire. Hathaway and Lean are able to escape, the preventing via getting to the subway. As soon as out of immediate threat, Lean makes use of her contacts to get the two to Malaysia to research the satellite TV for PC snapshots bought via the hackers. The two visit the region of the coordinates and discover apparently not anything of significance. All this is there's a tin mine. They pass right into a control room and see that the pumps used there are the same emblem as what the reactor used, which means that they can be hacked the equal way. Hathaway is positive that the assault on the electricity plant turned into only a take a look at, and that there's something larger to come back. He says the hackers are going to apply the code to damage a big dam close by if you want to damage numerous massive tin mines all close by. This would motive there to be a scarcity and for the call for to upward push. The hackers would then use the cash they obtained from the soy stocks to buy tin options whilst they may be reasonably priced and promote them while they are high. Hathaway uses his capabilities at the side of Lean working undercover to hack right into a financial institution and drain the hackers' financial institution accounts. He also leaves a word for them, with a telephone quantity to contact him at. They may be pressured to get in touch with him. They negotiate phrases around returning the cash and the tin mine hits. Considering Hathaway wrote the code the hackers are the use of, one of the hackers, Sadak, is inquisitive about assembling him. They set up to meet and similarly discuss their partnership. Fully looking ahead to be double-crossed, Hathaway builds a few homemade weapons and frame armor, which he hides under his clothing. Despite the fact that Hathaway told Sadak and Kasser to return on my own, they create their team of goons along for safety. Fortuitously, Lean spies them earlier than Hathaway arrives and lets him know. Hathaway calls Sadak and gives them a new vicinity to fulfill at, pronouncing that they come on my own or the assembly is off. The brand new vicinity is a hectic park all through a packed spiritual party. Earlier than he indicates himself to the hackers, who nevertheless have their henchmen with them. Hathaway follows them for a bit till he is caught with the aid of Kasser and held at gunpoint. At the same time as being patted down, Hathaway surprises Kasser and fast stabs, and kills him with considered one of his hidden guns. Sadak gets to the scene and tells Hathaway that he gained at mourn the lack of Kasser. He turned into only a man employed to do the work Sadak didn't want to do. Hathaway says that since Sadak killed his friends, he takes care of his personal grimy paintings and factors a gun at Sadak. Sadak's guys then shoot at Hathaway amidst the gang of revelers. Even though he's shot numerous times, Hathaway is capable of take down Sadak's men with a gun he stole from Kasser. Hathaway is stabbed via Sadak, but way to his makeshift body armor. The harm isn't as horrific as it may have been. He receives the knife from Sadak and kills him. Lean unearths Hathaway within the panicking crowd and gets him somewhere safer, and she or he mends his wounds. Once he is healed, they depart Indonesia with all of Sadak's cash. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and click on the bell icon to get new film recaps continuously.